So this is how you can go about creating your page for your projects. So for some of your pages, you already have some information on there, like your magazine cover, your magazine spread, and maybe your how-to if you've already put that on there. But what we're going to do is we're going to start with whichever one of the projects you've worked on. It doesn't really matter which one, but we're going to start with I'm going to start with the skateboard one. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the skateboard page. I'm going to come in here just so I know that I'm working with it. I'm going to type in skateboard design. For mine, I'm going to right align this just because I know I have a photo that I'm going to put in here that's right aligned. But really the key part is this. Down here, I want to add information to this section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to build. First thing is I want to put the photos, or at least the basic framework of the photos in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here under structure and I'm going to choose section. I'm going to drag this section over. What this is going to let me do is it's going to let me choose gallery. And I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to look for one. I'm going to look for this one that's got the white background just because I think it's easier to work with than having it throw a photograph in there with trees that has nothing to do with what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that one. So you can see this is set up where it's got multiple photos. Now, the way that I structured the skateboard one, well, actually, sorry, first thing I need to do is hit save, is I went through and I replaced these images. But what I'm going to do just to make it easier is I'm going to have one image in this column. That's going to be my finished product. Then I'm going to have 3 pictures that are going to show like the Pinterest board. Then this one here is going to be like if I did any sketches, any very like the initial work that I did. And then this one will end up being the full view process, like all the different artboards, anything that I have. And you can add additional ones in here. If you want to add additional images, what you want to do is go ahead and click inside of here, actually click off to the side, and you can actually just drag image over. And notice you can add ones here. If you do it vertically, notice it's small. That's going to put 2 pictures right next to each other. You can always hit the X to get rid of it. If you drag it here, it's going to make a new column, which you don't really necessarily want. But you can always grab these grippers at the top to drag them around. So I'm going to delete those out. So basically, I'm going to have a mock-up here. And the mock-up's optional. If you don't want to do the mock-up and you just kind of want to keep it basic, it's fine. You can delete that out. But these columns, that you should have at least the Pinterest board, any drawings that you've done, and then showing off several different variations that you've made, I think will be really useful. So I'm going to have it set up this way, where I've just got one column here for my finished process, including process, and then mock-up right here. Then, got this element section down here. I'm going to drag a title down here, and I'm going to type in my process. And I'm going to grab text. I'm going to drag. Notice the line is at the bottom or the top. I don't want that. I want it on the side because I'm going to make a couple columns here. What I'm going to do is this is going to serve as kind of my notes for what you're going to end up talking about when you go through your presentation. So this is kind of a cheat sheet for you to be able to do stuff. So right here, I'm going to type in research. I'm going to put in link. That's going to end up being my Pinterest link. If I want to link to an actual Pinterest page, I can highlight the word link and then take it to a website. So that's kind of cool. All right, then, so for most of these, and this may change, and you may have to look back at the project to see what you had, but for most of yours, you should have had this basic process. You did some research, you did some sketches, research, and planning. So if you happen to have a planning sheet, you could always link to that as well. Or you can just have your Pinterest board, or you can have both. Any sketches, the digital work that you did, so the actual process of putting it in Photoshop, InDesign, or Illustrator, and then any variations you made, and then the final product, so the final work. Then I'm going to add another text off here to the right. This is going to be your reflection. It's required that you have at least a paragraph that is your written reflection about this project. So going through and in writing, explaining why did you choose this? What was your inspiration? What was your process of doing things? And then reflect on how you felt it came out. So paragraph, maybe two, but you don't want to have it too long. So you'll write that out. It's similar to what you talk about in your final process screencast, but in this instance, it's much shorter and it's just a paragraph. All right, we're almost done with this. So this is the basic structure that you're going to end up using for all three of your projects: the magazine spread, the magazine cover, your Illustrator how-to, and that's what you'll put in here. So let me show you how to, in the next video, I'll show you how to take what you just did here and have it automatically go to these other pages just to save you some time.